Stadium here at Alumni Memorial Field in Lexington, Virginia. This is Western Carolina University football.
We were here 2 years ago and we got whooped because we wasn't ready to play. You be ready to go make plays from the first snap to the last snap. Live on the edge. Let's go.
Dickens back to throw, fires. Here comes Dominic Dutton, his safety valve. He's got another first down. After him already with 3 men. Dickens throws, and he's got his man. That should be very close to a first down, and they're going to spot it short. And they're going to spot it down at the 14, a 24-yard field goal, and it's going to be up and good. Catamount's taken early, 3-0 lead. Let's see, rolling right side, rolling, and he's going to be forced out of bounds over there by Jackson Banks. Play, here's Adams again. This time he's got a first down inside VMI territory.
He'll push the pile.
Pushing the pile all the way down to the 42-yard line. Dickens looking that way, wide open over there on the sideline. There's Tyre, and he's down to the 10-yard line. And we hand off. This time Markell is going to be in the end zone. Catamount touchdown with 1:24 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, great job running the ball that drive for Western Carolina. Again, good defense that time to come up and make a hit to keep it from being completed by Hayward McQueen.
Here we go. First down for the Catamounts at the VMI 13. Knocking on the door. Dickens in the end zone. Touchdown, Malik Knight. And he just tied the Southern Conference touchdown passing record. Game check comes pressure, and we get it from behind. Going around the blocker, Hassan Sykes. Controlling to the left side, looking. Now firing, and there he is. Touchdown, Catamounts, and Tiger Dickens just set a new Southern Conference record for touchdown passes in one season. Here comes pressure. Utsey never saw it coming, and he gets hammered over there. So now he's going to hand off, and his reverse now back over. Flea flicker, wide open left side at the 10-yard line. Breaking a tackle at the 5 and into the end zone is Braden Blackman. How about that for a little bit of trickeration?
Yeah, have a little fun with it.
Utsey back to throw. Again, here's pressure, and again he runs right into big Caleb Fisher, and it's 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Back to throw, looking, firing. This time he's got his man. Oh, and he drops it.
So JPL coming across with the PBU.
Dickens looking back to the other side. Got his man in the slant. It's going to be Branson Adams again out of the backfield. This time we swing it over to Terzado. And Terzado is down inside the 2-yard line. That's a first down and goal to go. Again, Roshan coming in motion, and it's going to be Dickens going in. He faked the handoff. He runs it in himself, and Dickens is in the end zone with 11:23 to play. And Utsey is back to throw. 4-man rush down the middle. Oh, it's going to be intercepted. Catamounts have it inside the 10-yard line. Great play down there. And as that Simpson kneeling in motion, is going to be Terzado. Lee back to throw again. Looking. Has lots of time. Now dumps it off out of the backfield to Kamari Reed. Kamari at the 20. And still on his feet all the way down to the 15. That's a really nice run. He moves over in the wing on the left side. And we're going to hand off and run it. And there's the touchdown. Right into the end zone. And chalk it up for a Catamount TD.
Last one for the week, man. We love you, baby. We love you.
Catamount Jaxe here, just across from the Western Carolina campus. Welcome you into Catamount Football Weekly as we talk Western Carolina Catamount football right here with the head coach Kerwin Bell from the Catamount Sports Network. I'm Daniel Hooker. So glad to have you tuned in here one more time. Catamount Football Weekly presented all season long, live on location right here at Catamount Jaxe, presented by Stanberry Insurance, online, stanberry-ins.com. Again, backing the Catamounts for over 45 years. You give them an opportunity to give you a quote on anything you want covered insurance-wise. Again, Stanberry Insurance, proud sponsors of the Catamounts. 4 locations, Silva, Waynesville, Highlands, and, of course, the newest location over in Clyde, North Carolina. Coach, we saw some of the highlights there from a good road win on the road. We said this program a week ago that we had to have our best game. You knew outside shot at a playoff. You knew small glimmer of hope, but you knew if you didn't win the ball game this past weekend that you didn't have any chance of making postseason play when it came down to it. But obviously you knew you had to go up and take on a team that had battled this year, that had played people a lot closer than the final scores had finally looked ultimately. But you knew you had to go on one more business trip. Message received. I think the guys went up there and took care of business from the very start and were able to get things done for us and get that 7th win. Again, 3rd consecutive 7-win season, 4th consecutive winning record at the end of the year. All positives for this program moving forward.
Yeah, I'm proud of the way our guys handled the trip. It's a long trip. We were talking about that, Hook. It's a long trip, and got up there. It was raining a lot, and that morning we got up, it rained. We had to go another hour into the stadium, so just a lot of things you have to overcome. And our kids, man, we talk about being a business trip, and they handled their way. You know, I think our FCS record was 5-0 away from home, and so that was good to see. And we just got to get better at home. And we had some tougher teams at home probably, but we've got to be better than what we were at home. But I like the way we handle ourselves on the road. We're very professional. Our guys are into it. We do a lot of meetings and walkthroughs to get them ready, and they came out and played a really solid football game.
I think one of the telling signs, people were tuned in at the very, very beginning of that highlight reel, and I know our creative director, Marlon Howard, has done an outstanding job along with our video production crew, George and Roman, all season long of capturing everything that we did throughout this year. One of the moments brought in there was you said, we came up here 2 years ago and got our hind ends beat because we weren't ready. And I think the guys listened to that moment and took from it. If you didn't hear it, go back and watch the video again. It was a moment that, Kerwin Bell in that moment. I ask you every week, what are you going to tell the guys before you get in front of the team? And I think that maybe starts your process. That's usually on Wednesday or Thursday. You start thinking about what you're going to say. But that, again, I think the guys really bought into that moment from what you said then to carry that into the opening kick all the way through.
Well, the first thing is a team like VMI, they are fighters, man. The coach is really good, and he's going to have them prepared. They're going to play very physical football, and if you don't win the line of scrimmage against those guys, I don't care how talented you are everywhere else, if you don't win the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, you're going to give yourself a chance to get beat. And we wanted to be the most physical football team on Saturday, and I felt like if we did that, then we would naturally carry ourselves and take care of the football. We would naturally carry ourselves to enough points to win. So that was the key. We came out there and really was physical, I thought, at the line of scrimmage with our defensive line, our linebackers, and our offensive linemen. And I think that was a big key. We ran the ball better than probably we have in the last few games, and a lot of that because they are physical is that we come out and we were very physical, and that's the kind of team we got to get to. We got to get to, we have been this in the past. That's when we've been really great is when we can be so balanced and we can be so physical on offense and we can be physical up front on defense. And we got to get back to being those kind of teams. Those are the kind of teams, that wins championships, and we know that. We just – sometimes you're dealt with what you got and you go with what you got, and we've done that in the past to be successful, but we always trying to reach that goal of being a dominant football team physically and being able to do the things as a team, be great balance on offense, be great balance on defense with our run defense and our pass defense. And so we're still working on that. We're going to work extremely hard to be a better all-around football team next year. I was disappointed with the way we didn't grow as I thought we would as a team this year. I really had high expectations for us. But, listen, we didn't get quite where we wanted to be. But we're going to go back in and attack it this year and be a much better rounded football team. Tiger had an unbelievable year. He was great. We not always have Tiger, but we always are going to have a great quarterback, and we always will be able to throw it around. Now we just got to be a more physical football team in all the other areas of the game.
Well, listen, you talk about a 7-win season, obviously not exactly where we wanted to be. We wanted to be sitting here talking about playoffs this week, looking ahead. But there are a bunch of teams out there that also thought they would be in the playoffs with their resume and with what they did. So, again, put it into perspective. I think the FCS playoffs are by far and away the toughest postseason to make in all of college athletics. You've got 64-plus teams that make the NCAA basketball championships. You've got everybody that gets 6 wins becomes bowl eligible. Well, hell, we had that before last week's game. We were bowl eligible if you look at it that way. So it's one of those things that I do feel like it is the toughest postseason to make in all of college athletics is what we do at the FCS football level, because you do take down 126 teams and pare that down to the 24 teams that make the postseason. Again, take out the automatic qualifiers, adding in the Ivy League this year, make it a little more difficult. But anyway, soapbox put away for a moment. Success
we
can
just
be
had
measured.
to get it done. That's the bottom line, man.
Well, success can be measured in so many different ways.
I've looked back at 3 years. Yeah, but that ain't me, man. I like winning seasons. I do. I know our fans enjoy being able to come to some important games and really high-intensity level games, middle of the year. And we've been in some good ones, man, the last 3 years. But, by God, we ain't got it done. And that ain't me, man. I don't care about just wins. We got to win championships. And we have failed in that area. We, 3 years ago, we had a chance at VMI.
Yep.
We got some guys banged up, no excuse, but we didn't get it done. The last 2 years, Mercer's beat us, one on a bad call, I'll say that. We were up 38-35.
Yep.
What was it? With 4 minutes to go down there last year, and they called a touchdown back because they said we hold, which had no holding penalty at all. Even the head referee told me that. So, and then this year, it's just terrible. I mean, that was our whole season. I had got these guys so ready for that game. We had them in our own backyard, and we played our hearts out, man. Came back from 12 down twice. And, man, we had a chance to do it, and we just ain't done it. So listen, ain't nothing about football, man. There's no excuses to me. You either do it or you don't. We hadn't done it. There's been reasons why here or there, but we got to build a better, solid football team that can go win those championships, and we got to get better at that. And that's what we don't hit the trail like we always have recruiting, and we don't try to maybe change some things so we can be a more rounded football team, because that's what we got to do to win a championship. Well, and we know that. It hadn't hit for us.
Yeah.
And so we'll continue to put our best foot forward.
Well, I can tell you this, writing about the 7-win seasons is a lot better than writing about the 1- and 2-win seasons I did during my career, during my 20-plus years here. I've enjoyed the last the four straight winning seasons. And, again, winning 3 in a row, 3 7-win seasons in a row has never been done before until now for Western Carolina. So, again, 4 in a row winning seasons. Things to build upon. Again, Rome's not built in a day. You got to roll over before you can crawl. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run a marathon. And so I think we're getting to that stretch. At least that's my opinion on how things go.
When you get to the damn door and you knock on it, it's going to fall sooner or later. It's going to open up. And we've been there 3 years in a row, man. We've been in it. We've been in the heat. We've been in the battles. By God, that door's got to open up. We got to knock that thing down. I didn't say that, did I? I didn't mean that. But we got to knock that thing down, man. I'm frustrated. We don't find a way to knock the thing down here. We've been there too many times here 3 years in a row. We got to change some things.
I think we've already got the hashtag for next year, and that's knock the thing down.
Yeah,
that might be the next.
That's what I said.
And knock the thing down. I think that might be next year's hashtag. But do want to say hello to the Sanez family listening in from Florida. Matt Cook listening in from Southwest Florida. Fast Eddie's tuned in. Jim Bullins down at Myrtle Beach tuned in. Bob Saban, latest edition of Tracking the Cats podcast, breaking down all the last things this year for Western Carolina. That's breaking now on YouTube. Make sure you check out Bob Saban, Steve White on Tracking the Cats, the podcast there. Jerry Love dropping us a note from Fayetteville, Georgia. Joe Henry will get to your questions about recruiting before we get done with tonight. Obviously, a lot of questions about that, what's going on with recruiting and the recruiting trail. I mentioned David early, and, of course, William Hamby jumping in here early on. But let's talk about this game, Coach, and before we get into some of the highlights, one of the curveballs in the early part of that ball game knew that VMI had thrown 2 different quarterbacks at people this year. Well, they ended up coming and starting the true freshman, first career start. And I think they may have found a quarterback if they can hang on to him. I did see, again, portal doesn't open until January. Everybody know that. The transfer portal with the new window does not open until January. All the people coming out saying, oh, so-and-so's going in, so-and-so's in, so-and-so's there. Nothing happens until January. Just make sure you know that. But already seeing that their quarterback, Colin Shannon, already jumping into the transfer portal. But I thought their freshman quarterback was pretty doggone good. His accuracy throwing the ball might not have been as good, but his elusive nature made him tough. And did that make it more difficult when you're preparing for this game?
Well, the thing is, we just didn't get out the full week of preparation just for him, right? We knew he was going to come in. They'd been bringing him in to run the football, and we knew that. We had calls we're going to make when he got in the game. But we didn't have a full week just to see all the things that they wanted to do with him, and they naturally expanded that when they played him the whole game. They had been just bringing him in for a play here, play there. And their other guy could throw it, man. He threw it pretty good. So we got ready for both of them, knew we was the place to see both of them, and all of a sudden he starts and he plays the whole game. And they sort of expand their offense for him. And, anytime you got a quarterback, that's an extra guy, that numbers game. And, they hurt us on a couple of things, but, man, we held them to 6 points. And I thought we adjusted really well once we got there. We knew he's going to start. Once we knew he's starting, then we just made some adjustments. I thought that really kept us, from them going down and be able to score points.
And I still go back and look at those results that they'd had going into that game. I was concerned just from the fact that they played so many people close for so long.
Yeah.
2-point ball game with Sanford, a 7-point ball game against Chattanooga, very close game there. They had a big lead against Citadel in their rivalry matchup. They led into the fourth quarter there in Charleston. But let's go ahead and roll some of the highlights here from that first half of the action. Western Carolina on the road here against VMI, and again wrapping up the regular season. Again, tough place to play. Again, right here, all the history and the pageantry that goes into college football at a military institute, and we came out trying to get things going with the ground game again, just trying to get that started for us.
Yeah, we thought the edges, they're very stout inside, it's physical, and we wanted to sort of play on the edges with our run game and use our speed. And we're getting out here, like you see, throwing some some outside screens to try to get on the edge, and then getting Tiger on the move a little bit. Make sure that we move the pocket early and just get him some clean throws.
So, again, I think it was a fourth down there play. We were able to keep the drive alive near midfield and get the run game going. Branson got in there and threw it. And I thought Braden Blackman, the second half of this year, had probably the best part of his college career, and he ends up with a touchdown in this ball game and some big plays. And Dom Dutton got going for you. The speed really played a factor.
Yeah, you see Tiger's doing a really good job, man. We talk about sometimes he wants to just scramble and make big plays, and he loves to throw it down the field. But, man, when he just gets back and hits his foot or, takes 3 or 4 steps and gets rid of the ball, that's when he's at his best. And I thought he played really good. They came out in the 3 deep safeties, which everybody wants to play us. They play us different than everybody else in the country because we are so explosive. Everybody just wants to drop everybody deep and make us take all these short throws, and he does a really good job of doing that.
So, again, you're down here trying to use your talent and your speed. Jalen Trozado getting involved more heavily. Everybody else is on game 12 coming into here, and he's on game 4, maybe game 5 of being healthy here. And took a shot to Painter there, couldn't get it. But, again, this drive will end up stalling here inside the red zone. Again, we've been very good in the red zone most of the year and just trying to make things happen. And fortuitous that that one didn't get picked off there by a lineman trying to force it in to your tight end, Josiah Thomas. But here in a moment, we're going to get to see going with a different kicker on this one. It's kind of different to see number 60 trot out here on this field goal attempt. And that's Brian McCullum, who gets his first opportunity, first play of his college career.
Yeah, last regular season game, he's a freshman. And so we wanted to get him some in-game action, and I thought he did a really good job.
They've got some big receivers, some big running backs. I mean, guys with some size, and of course the quarterback here in Nana Utsi, who again I thought was a difference maker in the fact that he didn't throw it as well, but his running ability was really what made him so difficult, because that's what we had trouble with too, is running quarterbacks at times this year.
Yeah, I think for them to understand that they're trying to hold on to the ball, they want to have numbers in their favor when the quarterback runs. A lot of it was done off of scrambles like this right here. We got to be able to tackle the kid and get him down, man. We shorted a first down. He gets a first down after we missed tackle. So, but I thought for the most part we held him in check to the point where, they only scored 6 points.
And, of course, here I think a really close play and just by the nose of the football. Both team pointing one way, one team pointing the other, and then I don't know if they brought out an index card there or not, but it was that close that our guys thought we had gotten the stop in the scrum there right at the middle. But they keep a drive alive, and then, again, we did a good job here of not giving in. After they got the benefit, they got the drive to continue, but we do a good job of come up here and get the stop.
Yeah, really good job of just understanding he's a threat running the football, and we really honed in on him and really started hitting him and making some big plays behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, again, there's one. The ball popped out. They said he was forward momentum was stopped, but the whistle had never blown. And then they try the 55-yard field goal, which is a tough field goal to attempt anyway, but on that field, the conditions are never always – if you're going to kick a 55-yarder at VMI, you might as well try it early, because otherwise you're going to be doing it on a chewed-up field the way that goes. And how about Branson Adams' acrobatic move there? I hope that he was okay after that as he does come back in. I thought Branson ran the ball hard again.
He did.
All of our backs, like we said, we have the stable of backs. We don't have the one key guy. All of them run the ball extremely hard.
Yeah, I thought Branson came in, man. We've been talking about being physical all week. I thought he showed that. He came in and made some really physical runs there in the first and second quarter that really got us going as far as being a physical football team against VMI.
Of course, here now out of the backfield, being able to catch the ball and coming across on routes and short underneath routes, as you said, with the 3 deep safeties. Sometimes there were as many as 5 DBs back there trying to find openings. And again, James Tyre had a quiet day, but again, very consistent with what he does.
Yeah, James is came out of nowhere. With Colombo out the whole year, he really took advantage of that and had a great year.
Markel Townsend trying to drive one in. They're going to say he's down at the 1-yard line here as the Catamounts looking to get on the scoreboard with a touchdown. And I just gave him another opportunity to give him one more rush, and this time definitely inside that end zone. Again, Markel Townsend, we talked about Branson. I thought he ran the ball hard as well.
Markel's just a man. You give him 2, you block for 2 yards for him, he's going to get you 4. You block 4, he's going to get you 6. He's a good extra yard guy that can get extra yards for you in the run game. He runs really tough, and I think his best football is ahead of him.
So here, late part of the first quarter, again, the scramble that has given us troubles at time. And again, elusive quarterbacks, when you got your eyes downfield, that means you're doing the job in coverage downfield. Though. There's absolutely nowhere to go with the football, and that gives them the opportunity to run. And again, we mentioned they have a pretty good sized running back there. I thought that did a good job. But getting after it here, about Jackson Banks tracking him down.
Jackson Banks, great play by him.
Good pursuit by Jordan Thompson.
Tackle running him down. Good job.
So you get off the field here, nearly got a block. I think he might have got a piece of this one. This is one of the better punters. Shrewsbury, maybe the best punter in the Southern Conference. We kept his average down a little bit on this one here. give your offense the football and positive yardage, and you've always said if you give your offense the ball inside the 50, you're going to find the end zone. And, again, going to the ground for a big part of this one early on.
Yeah, defense gave us some good field position, and, that's what we wanted to do. That's what you always want to do against a team that's not as good as you. Just separate as quick as you can. And it takes, 2 or 3 stops by your defense, maybe a turnover, and then your offense has got to be clicking. And that's what happens. All of a sudden now we're separating from these guys. We're up 17-0.
Yeah, and a good pass here. Again, right over the middle. And that's all about timing. Malik running the route, and right as he hits that apex and hits that break, ball's right on him. Again, so that right there, actually, one of the times, I think that touchdown tied the Southern Conference record. That was the 36th touchdown pass of the year for Tiger Dickens that tied the SoCon record. And again, a record he'll end up breaking later. We can talk about it going forward. But, again, gives you now that separation, 17-0 here early on.
Yeah, I'd love to see Hayward, man. He had a really good game, senior, number 5, our linebacker, and all them guys, Micah and Caleb Fisher, Micah Nelson, all them guys, man, have played a lot of football for us. They've turned this program around. They've been a big reason for this, and they've always made a lot of plays for us and always played extremely well for us.
Well, you talk about those 4-year seniors never experienced a losing season in Cullowhee, and that's something that a lot of people cannot say during their careers as Catamounts. And again, I thought when they went here on this drive early on, they started to go what looked like a little more triple option type play.
They did, yep.
I thought they might continue that. They went away from it just about as quick as they went to it, but we talk about the size and the physicality of a running back. That's a big one right there.
Well, they did. They came out, that's some of the new stuff they added when they was going to play him the whole game, so they added some more stuff, the run game, and that triple was something they added, triple option. It hurt us a couple times the first half, but we made adjustments. Second half, I don't think they got a yard out of it. So we did a really good job making adjustments at halftime to stop that.
I mentioned Jordan Thompson on the tackle there. Also, Gino Junius had a couple of big plays, and we were able to get pressure on the quarterback. And again, as you've said multiple times, when you get young quarterbacks, sometimes that fresh pressure right up on their face, right across their face mask, can give them trouble. And he didn't seem really in the run game was not. Was unflappable, and in the passing game, though, is where he had trouble.
Yeah, he's just not really polished passer right now, but he is athletic and gave us some trouble. This option play, especially in the first half, but like I said, I don't think they got a yard in the second half. We did a good job with our adjustments, but I like the way our defense shut these guys down. A couple times when they were inside the red zone here or close to it, we shut them down and made them kick field goals.
Yeah, you can see here just the touch on these passes, not the same from what you've seen from the other side with a guy like a Tiger Dickens that we've seen so far. But, again, they end up settling for the field goal, getting points out of a drive. They're still in a ball game right now at 17-3 late in the second quarter, and here's an opportunity, Coach. You took the ball first to start the game. They're thinking get a stop, maybe get an extra opportunity in the second half, but didn't get the ball to start the third quarter. Game's still hanging in the balance at this point.
Yeah, this is big, man. Right before halftime, you want to score here, especially the other teams don't get the ball to start the second half. We need to go down here and get a touchdown, and that's exactly what we did.
And talking about hard running, again, how about the offensive lineman getting involved in the run game, pushing at the initial spot and then pushing downfield, and just missing this one. Dom right off the fingertips, almost had a big-time grab there over the middle. What a touch on the ball, though.
Yeah, one of the few times you got in behind those 3 deep safeties, or basically 5 DBs back there. But got behind them and just barely missed it.
So here you are again driving on this one, and how about going to the out route? James Tyre, how many times has that been there this year?
Yeah, caught him in a blitz, and they're in man coverage, and James does a good job of setting his guys up, gets great separation, and Tiger throws it right on a dime.
I mentioned Kamari Reed, another tough run. We'll see him later on as well with some tough running. And how about this throw just over the top, looking for Michael Rawson, just overfires him, and here you are. It's I think a third down play, and able to get the first down, get it first and goal, and going back to reliable in this game, which was Braden Blackman.
Yeah. And right here, we're just trying to get Tiger on the move. They did a good job of playing our play action there, bootleg, but then come back inside and really get some movement and our run game. That's one thing I was proud of. I thought we run the ball tougher this game than we had prior couple games.
Yeah, what a nice release. If you watch Rawson there, released late at the line of scrimmage, and that one there ends up being the record setter as he ends up with the 1 yard, not a long yard, not a big-time touchdown pass, but it counts the same, 6 points, and it's the 37th, the Southern Conference single-season record for passing touchdowns. And again, now you've got the 24-3 lead. You got the separation. Now you don't want to give up anything cheap down the field, and they continue to try to make plays. This is a Division I football team going to continue to try to make plays down the field, but your defenses are going to find a way to keep them off the scoreboard.
Well, this is where we we said we got to hold them here, and I didn't even want them getting a field goal. no momentum here. So we played a little tighter until the last play. Even here, we were making sure that he was keeping right things in front of us, but make sure we don't let him get a big run because we didn't want to give up a field goal here before halftime.
And again, doing stuff with his legs, I thought Utsi did a nice job stepping up in the pocket at times and then taking what we were giving him. And again, now here he is getting really close to field goal range. You know that they tried the 55-yarder earlier, but perhaps out of the range here with time dwindling down. Take a shot and a nice job. Maybe a little collision there in the end zone. Maybe a little bit. But either way, we're going to look at it. No flag, no harm, no foul, correct? That's the way we look at it. There's plenty of opportunities. They've thrown flags on us, and I kind of expected one maybe in that situation, the way things have gone at times this year. But
last game for the refs, regular season, they're ready to go home.
Yeah, that's it. 24-3 here at halftime, Coach. What's your message inside that locker room as you guys walked in?
Well, we need to make some adjustments defensively up against the triple option, and we were doing that. They did that defensively, and then offensively, we just had to keep playing. Tiger said this is so easy. I mean, it was easy for him. So we knew that we was going to score basically every time if we just made sure we stayed away from negative plays and take care of the football. So I felt good at halftime, but I did tell them, hey, this is who we are, man. Who do we want to be known as a team? This is the last time people get the chance to see this football team on a football field in the regular season for sure. Always had a chance for maybe a playoff, but this year, the last chance to really show the team, guys on TV, anywhere, people in the stands. Let's go put our best effort. Let's go not be sloppy. Let's go put together a really good football second half. And I thought our guys did that.
All right, so we'll look at that second half. Do say hello to Neil Higgins watching this evening. Jim Bullins, have a great question. We'll get with that later about, again, transfer portal. We'll talk recruiting and all that as we wind things up here on our final show of 2025. Also say hello to across the mountain, Byron McClure tuned in. Alan Smith dropping us a note as well. Again, drop us a note here on the Facebook comments on Facebook Live if you're watching there. We welcome in those watching on YouTube as well. And, of course, all those right here live on location at Catamount Jaxe, the social house in the front, axe throwing in the back. Been a great and gracious host all season long. Really appreciate everything that Catamount Jaxe has done for Catamount Athletics here over at the Prospect. So, again, appreciate all of that all season long. We'll continue. We'll look at the second half. We'll talk about recruiting. We'll talk about spring ball. Wise man once told me there's 2 seasons in college athletics, football season and spring football season. So we'll talk about both of those as we continue. As we continue on here from Catamount Jaxe, again with Catamount Football Weekly. Back after this.
Stadium at Bob Waters Field here in Cullowhee, USA.
Here's where you plug into USB that goes to your computer. Western North Carolina is 3 different.
So, you gonna play this week?
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 You gonna play this
You
week?
gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the War Horses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Welcome back into Catamount Jaxe here just across from the Western Carolina campus, live tonight here on Facebook Live and, of course, on YouTube from the Catamount Sports Network. I'm Daniel Hooker alongside the coach, Kerwin Bell. And, Coach, we've talked about that first half. Looking ahead, we'll talk about the second half, but let's address some of these questions we're getting as well. Drop us a note as we say hello to Josh Starnes, Alan Smith, and Fast Eddie. And, again, looking at this, Coach, one of the questions that Jim Bullins dropped us is about the transfer portal, and, of course, that's now becomes the topic of conversation moving forward. And he wanted your true opinion on the transfer portal and how it has affected college athletics. And everybody has their own opinion of it. That's the great thing about living in America. You can have your own opinion, and some of them are good, some are bad, but none of them wrong by definition. But want to get your opinion on the transfer portal. And, again, does it alter the way you recruit? because everybody's got their opinion on that. But you and I were talking off air on that. But before we look at the second half, what are your thoughts on transfer portal and obviously a big factor coming up here in college athletics?
Well, the word adaptability is what I would go to, because, boy, you better adapt.
Yep.
Because, first of all, they tell you stuff 1 month out. I think they just decided exactly when the portal's going to be and how long and all that. And maybe it's been 2 months, but
hadn't been long.
It hadn't been long. So you know now it's the way it's set up, which I think it's probably the best you could do. But now you got that mixed with your high school recruiting. So how many scholarships do you have? How many do you use on high school? How many do you use on portal? Who's leaving? Like, really, we don't know for sure until the second. I've been meeting with players just for let's have a good, honest conversation. You tell me if he's planning on leaving. I need to know. I don't want to wait till the second and be surprised. So we're having great discussion with our players right now. I did today, and we will tomorrow. A lot of them we'll go for Thanksgiving and come back next week, but which that may change some things because people go home, parents start talking. So we'll see. But I'm gonna try by next week to have sort of put a zero in on who we're going to lose, who's going to be still around. Then that will tell us how we attack it.
Yeah.
Because look, if there's an area where we've got to get a guy who we don't feel good about that spot, we don't have an experienced guy. We got to go get a portal guy. We can't waste it on a high school guy, which is bad because I love to recruit high school guys. But we've got to make sure now if there's a position that's got 2 or 3 really veteran guys we feel good about, then let's get that young guy to help build this roster the way it needs to be built. But man, this thing is it's not what I like, but I got to adapt to it. We got to adapt and do the best we can. But you're rebuilding a team basically every year, and it's not just us; it's everybody is going through something to do with this portal and having to deal with it. So what we got to do is play really good football. There's a lot of kids that talking today, they love what we do. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of them are going to stay. And so we're going to lose quite a few too. So just like everybody else. But we got to now to find out who that is, and then we got to go recruit accordingly and make sure we build this roster back so we can compete next year. Don't have to rebuild it. This is just a reload for us. Like I said, we're going to find a way to go win a championship, not just win 7 games. And we do everything we can every day as far as portal, as far as high school guys, to go win a championship. And that's the way we're going to approach it. And whatever it takes for us to get to that point we feel good about, we're gonna put our best foot forward.
Well, one part of that is also fundraising. I will throw that out there. It is something that, again, coming up on Giving Tuesday, which is coming up on December 2nd. It's a good opportunity to be able to donate to the Catamount Club. That's part of it. That's part of it. Money's always going to be part of it. NIL, whatever, everything's changing with rev share, but Giving Tuesday is a great opportunity. With Giving Tuesday, the focus this year is going to be on the scholarship fund.
Look, I've seen it, and you people have seen it in the stands that know anything about football. You start to see at this level, it's really a difference now when you start. And Rusty made a comment when he had to go play a couple teams earlier, Tennessee Tech and Tarleton
State.
I mean, they both have $700,000 compared to ours, nothing or whatever we have. So it's starting to show.
Yeah.
Right, the first year you didn't really see a difference. Second year a little bit. Third, man, you're like, dang, those are good-looking jokers. And that's one thing we got to make sure we recruit high school kids, especially on defense. We got to get bigger kids because that FBS level is coming down to our level. Not maybe as good of players as, up there. Naturally, they're not playing up there. That's why they move down or they get these guys. But the ones that have money at this level, they're starting to get some really good-looking guys athletically and bodies. And we've got to be able to hold up to it, where you don't get 50-50 balls and receivers just jump over our DBs or our tight ends. Our DBs can't even touch, stop a tight end from catching the ball because he's 6'5", 250, 260. So them are areas we are looking at, and you got to address it. You got to adapt by what you recruit because of what's happening. And so that's what we're looking at. That's the way we're going to approach it, and we're going to try to give ourselves the best chance. And, Kyle, our AD's been wonderful. Man, he wants to help in any way he can. He's helping us in a great deal different ways. And so that's what it's going to take. It's going to take you people out there. Y'all want to have a good football, man. I know we've 7-5, but by God, we got to keep going and keep building this thing. It's going to take somebody. That's just college football. If you want to have it, then that's what we're going to have to do to because there'll be some teams that probably don't have much money, but there'll be some teams in this conference now. You start looking at who they are. Them are the teams that's up at the top right now, and we gotta find a way to match that or get close to it, so we'll have a chance to go compete for championships. And I believe we're going to do that no matter what. But we do need everybody's help to try to do whatever they can do to help us.
Again, talking about this whole thing, the conversation with transfer portal, again, Giving Tuesday coming up next Tuesday after Thanksgiving this week. But again, another thing I think that helps is the change of only one window. And the change of not having two windows. We lost some people early last year in the first window. Then in that second window after spring ball, lost a handful more.
Yeah, two starters.
Yeah, two starters and three really. Two starters on wide receivers and one on the defensive line that left in that second window. So I think that helps, only having the one window.
Yeah.
But another thing that I think our campus is helping big time with, and most people may not know about, is the way that timing of the window is. It opens on January 2nd. It goes for 2 weeks. Well, we start class before that window closes. So now having the opportunity with Mike Langford, with Phil Colley, who is retiring.
Yes.
We do send our congratulations to Phil. I don't know what we're going to do around here without Phil Colley. He's been a staple.
39 years?
Yeah, 39, 40 years. He's been a staple. I worked for Phil. Let's put it that. Before I worked in athletics, I worked for Phil. Let's put it that way. Phil was one of the reasons I came to campus within the recruiting process. Do send our congratulations out. But the job that our campus has said, we will help football
Mike
because of this
has
window.
Been wonderful. Just getting kids in, and because that window is so important, because that's the only time you can go get them, man. And it's going to help because we get them in the spring, and hopefully we build a team this spring instead of having to wait till the summer like we did last year with some guys with that second opening. So we get the one opening. Yeah, Mike and them has been great. Our administration has been great to say, hey, let's help you. If you get a guy, we're trying to get as many guys in, but sometimes it happens that last second. You find a guy. And they're willing to work with us, and that's what it's going to take for us to have a winning program the way we have so far.
And I think finally, Jim, to put a bow on your question that you asked there, it's probably a good problem to have that you got people coming after your players, because if you had players and nobody wanted and they're still here, you must not be very good. I think that's probably a good problem to have, to get the good kids, and it's up to Catamount Nation to help us keep these kids. Obviously the financial side of things, but playing in the atmosphere, the best atmosphere in the Southern Conference. We're better than some FBS conference schools in what they have. I would put our atmosphere up against just about anybody through the MAC and things of the Sun Belt, some conferences like that these kids are going to, that you're playing in front of a better atmosphere in Cullowhee than you do in a lot of other places. So I think that's up to us to keep that game day atmosphere going as we move forward with all the positive momentum that way. But again, Coach, if you had players nobody wanted, it might not be a good thing for you sitting here today.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it, man. You get frustrated and you get upset a little bit because, man, you've put so much time into these players, and you gave them an opportunity, which a lot of times they didn't have opportunities
exactly
in high school, and they know that, and they appreciate it. I've had a bunch of them hug my neck, and it's emotional and you listen, nobody out there, don't get mad at these players, because you would do the same thing. If you make it $100,000, $200,000, you got an opportunity to do that, you would do it. And so you can't take away from them. There is some guys that are doing it that I don't think are in the best situation, right? If you're like Tiger and you got come in, people are already talking to you, people are already telling him now, that's the way to go. But if you go in and you don't have any interest at all, man, you realize there was 5,000 that went into portal last year. Only is not some of these numbers, but 3,000 only that were left without scholarships.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of kids that are getting in just blindly thinking they're so good, but nobody's telling them they're going to give them anything, but yet they get in, and all of a sudden their old school don't want them. Like I told our guys, listen, I'm not going to have a scholarship now the way the window is. We got to jump in and go get kids. We got to get them on campus. We got to get our administration's got to get them in and get them in school before spring semester starts. We ain't got time to hold no scholarship for you. So if you go, man, there ain't no B1 here available. And I feel bad because there is going to be kids left out, and they already have been thousands of them the last couple of years. Yeah. So it's good in certain ways, but in certain ways it's not good for our kids. But listen, what we've got to do as a program, you got to adapt. And now instead of just thinking build this great roster for 2 or 3, 4 years like we could have done back when we first got here, we had a really good roster, really moving in the right direction. But listen, the rules have changed. You got to change, and we got to make sure next year, it's a one-year deal. We got to make next year we put our best foot forward. We address the areas that we need to get better so we're a more rounded football team where we can play championship football against championship teams who are really loaded, and we've got to be able to do that. And the way to do that is you got to approach recruiting or the portal in a manner where you've got a chance to go compete against those teams, and that's what we'll do. We'll do it next year, and we'll be ready to go compete.
Well, and I finish it with this comment. I guarantee that if the NFL had to change a roster as much as we do at the college level now, there would be some rule changes. If things were like they were like in the NFL, if they were having to build a whole new team every single year, not just these free agency contracts or whatever that they have, things might be different. But I digress. We could do a whole show just on transfer portal and things of that sort.
Why don't they give him a guy gets 2 or 3 years deal?
Yeah.
If he wants to go there so bad and y'all giving him all this money, all these big schools, well, then commit to the man for 2 or 3 years, right? Don't commit 1 year, because what happens is we might have some kids that went off to somewhere and they not starting, and all of a sudden next year they don't give them that same money.
Yeah.
Now what they don't do, and that's happening everywhere. A lot of kids are getting a good little bit of money, and all of a sudden the next year they say, well, we can go find somebody better than you, and now you're not getting any more money. You're probably out of a scholarship. They take your scholarship. There's just a lot of bad things that are happening that I don't feel good about. But again, adapt. Let's go build this roster to go win a championship. That's what we're going to try to do, going forward.
Well, I'll tell you what, Indy, if you want to call, Kerwin and I are ready. We'll take your call. We'll
I can tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed. But what do you say we look at that second half highlights, Coach? Here, you're leading at the halftime break. We'll look at this final 2 quarters of Western Carolina football, and you're up 24-3, and again, you're still in a ball game here in the fact that they can drive down and get a score here and try to make this thing back to a 2-touchdown game. And again, how about B.D. Waddell? We had a couple guys in special teams make plays. B.D.'s been in and out of the lineup most of the year with injury, but nice play special teams there.
Yeah, he's from Charlotte and does a great job. And he's been injured. Got him back and made a great special. We told you said what we'd say coming out of half. We told, hey, first 5 minutes, let's go win this. Let's go dominate the first 5 minutes. Let's stop them, which we did on defense, and then come back out and score on offense.
There's a good return by Tyre, a hit out of bounds as well, gave the Catamounts great field position, and then you go right up top immediately. And, again, just trying to go for the jugular, as you say, here early on, and sitting back and waiting and watching, and just a little bit off, looking for Tyre. And then how about old McCullum? Oh, baby McCullum, the second McCullum in the house. He ends up with 12 points in this game. Now he's trying to track down his brother, who scored 300 for us in his college career. So he's got a ways to go, but he knocks through his second field goal.
Yeah, it was good to see. Richard was there, cheering on his brother. It was good to see Brian come through and do a really good job kicking for us.
Here you go. We haven't run many corner blitzes at times. We've gone with safety, but how about this one? Hassan Sykes, again, one of those guys that's thrown his name out there, potentially not going to be back in Cullowhee, but a big play there, again, with that safety. And, again, how about Big 53, the offensive lineman, helping keep us alive in a play? And I really give their offensive credit here. Their quarterback kept his eyes downfield, tried to make a play late, but I feel like we're getting a little more pressure here to start this third quarter.
Yeah, we let him sort of rush upfield a lot this game, and they're really getting pressure in his face, and that creates turnovers, man. This is a bad call. I just didn't see holding here, but we had a turnover here, and they called us for holding.
There. It was on the defensive end.
I mean, he plays the ball, and
But it was on the defensive end being held, not Samari, who ends up, or they call the foul or the penalty on Western Carolina, so it ends up they get the drive to continue here. And defensively,
again, with the break on the penalty, they get down here, but we do a really good job, man. As the field shrinks, now let's play aggressive. And I thought we did that and kept them to a field goal.
Yeah, Jamari Pierre-Lewis with a good break up there right at the corner of the end zone. How many times? That's the James Tyre corner, that front corner of the end zone where he's made so many plays this year. But he knocks the ball away, hold him to a field goal, and now you've still got that 3-touchdown edge. And we really tried to get Malik Knight and Dom Dutton. We tried to get those receivers involved. We'll see later Michael Rawson trying to get him involved out of the backfield a little more as well. But, again, reliable. Braden Blackman, going to be tough to replace him. We've got some guys that can do it, but I tell you, he's had an outstanding second half of this year for Western Carolina. And, again, offense just doing what you want to do. You talk about balance, and a lot of times balance is do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I think you were able to do that in this ball game.
Yeah, we had it pretty much going with our run game being as physical as it was early on. Now we've got really good balance, and Tigers will throw a lot of completions.
Yeah, a little trickeration here.
Yeah, Ryland with a nice. We've been working on this play all year, so we had to use it before the end of the year. And we've been working it all every day in practice. Well, at least once a week in practice. So was able to get that one and get a touchdown. Now we're up 34-6.
Yeah, good pressure again in the backfield and really good open field tackling this game as well. I think we've had some issues where, again, you say, all right, if they're going to catch the ball, just let them catch it and then make the tackle. If they end up making a play on it, you saw Ryan McKinnis with a good tackle there. And, again, a lot of these lanes breaking down a little bit. A lot of people said that we rush upfield with reckless abandon and don't keep our fits. And I think we did a better job with that so far in this one. And a good break late on this one as well defensively.
Yeah, well, I just like we played hard. Even our backups, when they come in, they played even harder. Our starters seemed like they got after it. It was good to see that everybody's in the game. Here's a backup right here, man, Marcel.
Yeah, Marseille comes blindside in.
Perfect hit on the quarterback.
Didn't rough the passer, didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Makes a big-time play, big-time hit, get the football back for your offense. And, again, how about this? The improvisation that Tehran has at times, being able to flip that one forward to get it to Kamari, and again, just trying to figure out all this up the field, just keeping his eyes downfield all the time. You see the feet, the footwork, the moving of the feet, and nearly a completion there.
Yeah, we just we played. This is a bad set of downs here. First of all, just get the ball to he's trying to force balls down the field. I got on him a little bit after this. Let's just be simple, take what they give you, and because of that, we have to punt the football in this series. But our defense comes in and does a good job.
So we get it right back and then we jump off sides.
Yeah. This hadn't happened all year. I've been proud of the way you don't give teams extra downs. We hadn't done it really all year until today, this game, and we gave them an extra set of downs.
Well, it's 4th and 10. Ends up being 4th and 5. They take the punt team off the field, put the offense back on, but then they don't get anything out of it either way. So you, again, have got a short field to work with. You look at 500 yards of offense, Coach, in the ball game. But you had the short field so many times. Branson Adams, a good run and catch out of the backfield. But you had short fields most of the day. Only near the end did you have to go the full length of the field, hardly at all in this ball game. And here's that trick play we talked about. Rawson trying to be quarterback, and you took it out of Tiger's hand, Coach. I don't know why you would do that there.
Again, we're trying all our trick plays a little bit, but Tiger gets a rushing. This is his only rushing touchdown.
Only rushing touchdown. Only the third of his career.
I would have thought he'd have more than that. But did that give him 39 for the year?
Well,
total?
30. He ended up with 38 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, 38, one rushing.
So and one rushing. So again, their quarterback just making things happen. And I think this is going to be the future there, at least from what I can tell from what little bit I've seen of VMI football. A guy like this that can make plays, this type of just offensive, being elusive, moving his eyes downfield. I think he's got to work on the accuracy throwing the football as Nakoma comes up with the big interception there.
Yeah, that's one of our young sophomores, Nakoma. He's him and Bo are brothers, and Nakoma's they'll be a really good player, man. He will hit you. So we're excited about getting more weight on him, and we think he's going to have a really good year the next year.
So here we are in the fourth quarter, and, of course, this is the only time we have to go the length of the field, really, after that interception had us inside. And now you get Tiger out of the ball game, and you have Isaac Lee getting some time here late in this game. We got 6.5 minutes to go, and you're able to go with your backup quarterback to get him some time as well, and does a nice job. Of course, when you get Markell and you get between him and Kamari both running as hard as they are, it makes it easy to turn around and hand the ball off.
Yeah, we were backed up, so I just wanted Tiger to get us off the goal line. I don't like put our backup in with it. You're backed up the way we were. But then once we got a little bit of field, I wanted him to come off too, standing ovation with our sideline. He's had such a great year. And again, I wanted to get Isaac out there. He needs to get some experience. He's a very talented kid. I really like him, man. This is really good right here. Watch how he progresses, goes through his reads, and then comes off. That's probably his 5th read out of the 5 receivers. So,
and not a bad option with Kamari.
He's got that ability to cancel things out and go through his progressions. He's also one of the fastest guys on the field. That's a hard compliment to do between the two. So I think he's got a bright future here.
Well, I actually asked Tiger earlier this year, who would win in a foot race between you and Isaac Lee? And he looked at me point blank in the face and said, Isaac would win by 10 lengths out
Tiger
in front. And so, again, here you get the rushing touchdown. How about Branson Adams, his final game?
Yeah, get him
battled through injuries, but the perseverance to stay with it. He gets in there to get that last touchdown for you.
Yeah, it's good to see him on senior day, the last game for him to get that touchdown. He has battled some injuries this year. He had a really great year last year, man. 6 or
700 yards rushing,
about 600 yards passing.
2,000-yard guy in his career.
Yeah, he's done really well for us. Been a walk-on. Was a walk-on.
Yeah, and really fought through a lot of things. What was the message there with Coach Rocco at the end of this one here, at the end of the ball game?
Well, he says we were a great football team. Then he told me, I was surprised you put Tiger in there with 7 minutes to go. I said, Coach, I don't like to put my back up when we're backed up on the goal line.
Yeah.
I always try to give our backups the best chance to be positive and feel confident, right? And so I wanted to get it off the goal line with Tiger, and then put, again, I thought too it was good just the season he had to let him come off the field. And then put Isaac in there, and we was able to go all the way down the field. So,
well, but like you took shots downfield with him, it was underneath.
No,
and he actually ran
I
it
don't
one
think
time.
it was a problem with Isaac. He understood. We took our time, ran the ball, and let Isaac throw a couple of times. No, he's one of my favorite coaches up there. He does a really good job. Really good football coach now.
Oh, for sure.
And you're always scared when you play his teams because they're going to play hard, and they'll be, they're going to be very well coached, and they don't play hard, and they don't give you everything they got. And so for us to go up there and win like that's big for our team.
Well, Coach, what was your message? You get everybody finally corralled back in the locker room after everything on the field post game. What was your message to the guys after the game?
A little emotional, probably. I'm glad y'all didn't have cameras in there, but it was just emotional to me because of our seniors. And I told them after the East Tennessee State game, I think, that I'd let them down as a head coach because I think I got to take the blame. We didn't get it done, and that's tough because these boys have been with me, man. They were my boys, and they have been with me through thick and thin, and they've got this program from I don't know what we was before we got here. We were 1-10, wasn't we? And they went through 4-6 that first year. We lost 6 in a row, come back, won the last 4. And then went on a 4-year winning streak of having winning seasons. And it's all because of them, because of the way they persevered, how hard they worked, how dedicated they were to our program. And, I don't know how much you don't get that nowadays with the portal and people want NIL money. A lot of them go everywhere just to get some, and I can't blame them. But these guys truly love this university. And they truly wanted to be here and do something special. And it breaks my heart how hard they worked because we put that whole season on that Mercer game because we knew it was going to come down to that, and it did. And for them to not to reap the rewards of all the work they put in, it tears me up. But I'm proud of them. I'm proud we was able to bounce back this last game and win and finish with 7 wins. And now they can take this hook and – to me, like I tell them, we win it next year. We don't bring them guys back, man.
Yeah.
I may even buy them some rings on my own because they are the reason why this has came to this point and why we've got a chance now to go compete year in and year out. And so they have got us to this point, and everything they've done is going to be recognized, and we're going to know that they were the reasons why this whole thing started and got us where we're at today.
Well, one of the questions we had earlier, I was trying to scroll back through to find out who had actually asked it with regards. You mentioned a lot put on that Mercer game, and understanding that was a conference championship style of game in terms of where we were, knowing we had 2 games left. But that one, again, try to knock off the team that's been at the top of the mountain. And you look back at the situations were what they were beginning of the year without your starting quarterback, but you get those 2 wins over Elon and Gardner-Webb beginning of the year. Now you're talking about still being, instead of a 7-5 team, now you're talking about a 9-3 team, and you've got that option to potentially look to an at-large that way as well. Again, what's the difference in trying to come out of the gates and understanding now that where we are? I mean, obviously, you win a championship, you get automatic qualifier, but so much of it now still relies on these out-of-conference games beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, people say, how do you approach it different, man? You don't know Tiger's going to be gone for 3 weeks until right before the season started. And it wasn't that. I mean, we still scored some points. I thought our backups played good.
Yeah.
Bennett and Isaac gave us a chance in both of those games. We just didn't finish those games the way we should have. Was it because of their starting quarterback ain't with them? I think there is something to be said about that as far as your confidence level, and especially when things started going the wrong way. You didn't have your guy to bail you out a little bit like you do when you have your starter out there and the confidence he gives you. So, yeah, that made a difference. But listen, we've had some tough stuff. We've had some tough, like I told our seniors, man, in that locker room. I'm proud of the way they've handled themselves because it don't matter. You get knocked down. I've been knocked down a lot in my life. But to me, that don't mean if you're scared to get knocked down, then you're not a guy who's going to accomplish very much in life. Don't be afraid to get knocked down, like I told our team. But just by God, get your butt up and find a way to persevere and overcome. And our guys, if they hadn't learned anything in life, they've learned that just to be persistent, because good things will happen. And you can overcome anything if you handle it the right way. And this team had to do that, because we have had a lot of great moments, but a lot of tough moments. And yet we bounced back and we finished strong. And the last thing you'll see this football team do is win 48-6 against VMI. That's what we preached all week. Let's show everybody who we are and what kind of team we were in 2025. Yeah, there were some tough moments. Our biggest moment was against Mercer, and we didn't get it done. But we finished the year. We handled ourselves. We got back on a horse, and we finished up the way we need to finish. And now we can take that, all that momentum, we can take all that and put it into the next year's team, and they can be a big part of us finally getting over the hump. Because as long as I'm here, we ain't worried about no wins. We're worried about winning a championship. So if that means winning 5 in a row early, or go 0-5 early and win them all late, we're going to still be about winning a championship. And that's what our number one goal is. As we look at our roster, we weren't balanced enough, and I missed on some of that. I don't tell you that I think we'll be great in this area just by BSing you. I ain't that kind of person. I really thought we were going to get better and better in certain areas. 2 areas really bad, defensively and run game. That broke our season as far as being able to really compete week in and week out against the best teams. And if we'd had those 2 things a little bit better, what kind of team could we have had? So we were close. They didn't mature or didn't develop the way I thought they would as we continued to go through the season. And so both of those things gave us then the ability to score points, but not be a true balanced football team. And when you're not a true balanced football team, when you go play the big games, you're barely hanging on. I mean, we were 12 down twice against Mercer. And let's don't kid ourselves. I can look at it now. Back then, they better than us. They better overall team, right?
Complete. More complete.
More complete. That's what I mean by overall, just complete.
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively, their quarterback, they got lucky with another freshman quarterback who came off the bench. 2 years ago, they had the big tall kid that was a freshman. The freshman quarterback made all the difference. It gave them that great balance, that great complete team. They had a big old back. They could run the football.
C.J. Miller.
And we, because of who we are as players, we stood up, fight foot to foot with them guys. And by God, they were good. But we had that chance that one night to beat them, and we just fell short. And that's what I hate about this senior class, because they did everything they could since January to put us in the fight. And when we were there, we were one snap away, or just one little miss away from accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish.
Coach, wanted to touch and look at one last time, again, looking at spring ball coming up. And, again, I think right now it's so difficult to say, people asking the question, all right, what are you looking at in recruiting? What are you looking at in freshmen? What are you looking at in transfer portal? And I think until you know exactly what you've got on your list, on your roster, it's hard to have your to-do list to go out and what you got to get. So I think there's some difficulty in determining that. But, again, what's your goal coming up through the spring? Obviously, you'll get to work. Stadium construction going along also have an impact on some of this as well as we get ready for the fall of 26. But all those things, I think, are positive things that continue to add up.
Yeah, we, the first thing is, like you say, like I tell anybody, when you recruit, people say, how are y'all were good recruiters? First of all, I think why we're such good recruiters is because we identify guys that we can get. A lot of people start worrying about all these other guys you ain't got a chance to get. You got to identify guys who you can truly get, and then do they fit in your system? Are they just guys that are guys? We want guys who truly fit what we want. And we're going to change our philosophy a little bit on defense, just like I said earlier, to match up with what we're seeing coming from the FBS down to our level. Bigger body kids. We got to match up that. And now offensively, I think we can still recruit speed. We can recruit. That ball don't weigh too much, right? And so all we want to do is outrun somebody. So that ball don't weigh very much. So we'll still recruit the way we do on offense. But defensively, we'll change the way our philosophy is a little bit. You got to adapt. But it's still be crazy. I'm just telling you, no coach has ever been in this situation where you're dealing with high school recruits. Okay, how many do you get? How many portal guys do you get? And it's all happening at the same time. And we got to get these guys in January so we can have them in the spring. And then spring ball, how many players are we literally going to have? we usually have 120 guys. We might be down to 75 or 80.
Yeah.
How are we going to practice? So it's a lot of new stuff, and we just got to adapt, and we got to make sure that we get our team ready. Whatever the situation is, we got to adapt and make the most of it.
Yeah, knock the door down. I think that's the hashtag looking forward, perhaps. Getting close to it. It's
I like that.
Probably got a little bit of work to do. I don't know that it in a group huddle comes off the tongue as good as live on the edge, that sort of thing. But I think we're working on something there, and we'll say it all started right here on this program. Coach, as we wrap up our season here, what do you say we say thank you one last time, obviously, to all of our staff that's helped out throughout the year, all of your staff throughout the year, obviously all the players, but Catamount Nation, Catamount Jaxe right here for their job that they've played in helping us host this show each and every week. But again, just a great opportunity here this week of thanks as we look forward to Giving Tuesday next week on December 2nd, an opportunity to give back to the Catamount Club. Hope you'll take the opportunity to visit givingtuesday.wcu.edu. And like the great line from Coming to America, yeah, we don't mind the kind of change of the money that jingles, but we prefer the kind that folds. Either way, any contribution helps out towards what we're trying to do here in Cullowhee. And so a great opportunity there with Giving Tuesday to give back towards the Catamount Club. But again, one last time, Coach, here to say thank you to Catamount Nation. Again, going to finish inside the top 20 nationally in attendance, going to lead the Southern Conference in attendance. We talk about it being not only the loudest house in the Southern Conference, but the best game day atmosphere. All of that builds in. And if you're a recruit, if you're a kid, if you're an offensive player looking for a place to go play, why not Cullowhee? Because look at what we're building and what you've built over the last 5 years and continue to build. But again, one last time, Coach, to say thank you to Catamount Nation here.
Yeah, I just, like I've said before, man, we brag about our program does, our players, our coaches. When I go to the media thing with our other coaches in the conference, I brag about our fans and the atmosphere that we have with our band and our student section and our boosters and alumni. Nobody ever shoots me down. They can't. They literally say, we know. Coach Hatcher used to be one of the best. Man, I love that place. I love to go up there. It's such a great place to play football. And so let's make sure we keep that going. I know we will. We got some passionate fans. And by God, we gotta find a way to get it done. And I don't want you to know that's what that's all we're worried about. We're even worried about trying to win all these football. We got to win the ones that count and the ones that gets us a championship, because and we got to be better at home. You know, that's one of our keys. Now, we did play some tough teams at home, but listen, we can't. The first two we should have never lost at home. So we got to make sure we're better at home because of what y'all have done. Y'all have helped create a great atmosphere. Best in FCS football, I believe. I've never been out west, but who cares about them guys? I think FCS football, especially here on the East Coast, we're the best that's around. And there is some other component. Are we going to all be all in, guys? Are we going to be all in? I know you're passionate about this team and I'm passionate about our sport, but there is some big differences that are happening. And some people are getting in and finding ways to give money and to donate and let us be able to have an opportunity to get the quality players that we need to win a championship. And I know there's a lot of people out there that's got that passion also. So I appreciate you getting involved. Our AD's going around everywhere. Kyle, man, give him a call because he's doing everything he can to help us get on an even playing field or get close.
Yeah.
We just want to be on the field, not even make it even. I don't have to get as much as some of them other teams, but just give me some to get us on the field so we can go compete and help bring a championship, because this place deserves it. You've been wonderful. You great fans, and you deserve a championship. Let's go get one.
All right, Coach. And I'm looking forward. We got the Coaches Caravan coming up at the Catamount Club first part of December, second week of December, going across the state of North Carolina. A lot of people, we ask for a lot, but we want you guys to ask us for a lot. We ask for a lot back in exchange. And, again, I think we've built something special here, and we keep going forward with it all season long. So that'll wrap it up here for Catamount Football Weekly here in 2025. We'll try to get together with Coach Bell a couple of times once we get into the signing period, get through the start of spring ball. We'll bring him back on to talk about what he sees and what we're looking at. We'll get that going. We'll shift gears to the Catamount Coaches shows. We'll get with Jonathan Sippis and Tim Kraft. We'll talk Catamount basketball and keep our eyes towards the Diamond coming up later on in February. We'll start talking with Alan Beck and Jim Clift with our baseball and softball teams. All the other sports, we'll get them on here live from Catamount Jaxe. Again, next time you come to the Catamount Valley, the Cullowhee Valley, make sure you stop up here at Catamount Jaxe, see the fine folks. Again, social house in the front, and of course the axe throwing in the back. An exceptional time had by all each and every time you stop by Catamount Jaxe right here in Cullowhee. And as always, special thanks. Couldn't do any of this without our friends at Stanberry Insurance, online at stanberry-ins.com. Proud sponsors of Catamount Football Weekly, proud supporters of Catamount Athletics. Make sure you give them a call. Let them give you a quote on your insurance. For the coach, for our staff, for Roman, for George, for everybody here at Catamount Jaxe, Daniel Looker saying so long for now on this final edition of Catamount Football Weekly right here from Catamount Jaxe. Good night, everybody.